We're gonna do the pledge. Oh. I
I
pledge
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everybody. Right, we'll jump into the board minutes. Approval.
No move to accept the minutes.
I second. Any public comment on the minutes? Being none, all in favor? Okay, we're in the public, or in the correspondence, what's the?
Yeah.
Here's that way.
Oh.
The first one's from. How do you say this?
Ed Siminock.
Siminock. And it's on Georgetown Lake, him asking Todd White to redo a. Had
Projection.
asked him to return the model to see how things look. On the water up there with the ice on it. We'll probably stamp it and then I'll put it in the book too. Next one is a program summary report on Action Inc. Any
There's public comment for that one.
public comment on that?
Yeah, Mayor Leeper has comments on that.
Okay, who is it?
Mayor Leeper.
Okay. Go ahead, Mayor.
Good morning, Commissioners. I did not attend the meeting, but provided you with the report on there that sums up Granite County.
Okay.
Elena Gigliano has a comment.
I was still here. I thought Gail had some more and she go up. Okay, go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. Can you please tell me what page you're on? Because I'm looking at the correspondence. 20 pages and page 1 is Action Incorporated. Program summary. So what pages are you starting?
Oh, sorry, I just passed it down. Blanche is looking at it right now. He's on the first page. Did you have a question on it or what?
And so first page is Action Incorporated. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to see where you were at so I can follow it. Thank you.
Are you expecting us to read the whole report? Is that what you're expecting? It's online. I read it online.
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
No, I see it online. I just, didn't know which one he was starting with. I didn't hear. So then the next one would be.
The first
Oh,
one,
God.
the first one wasn't online, Elena, because it just came in the first thing this morning. So that might be why you're.
Oh,
Why?
that's what the confusion is. I didn't see it.
No,
this is not the one that's online.
that is the first piece of correspondence was not online because it came in this morning. So there's the confusion, I think.
Yes, that's what the confusion is. Thank you.
Moving on, we're on to Department of Transportation, rock removal complete on the job up at Georgetown Lake. Comment on that, it looks like they're gonna have to really be on the snow when it snows there, it's gonna be right in the road, cause that's just like a big old run now. That's my. Looking at, we were up there the other day, the rock up there on Georgetown Lake, it looks like now any of that.
Yeah,
Don't it look like they made a funnel for the road?
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, what good did it do?
Well, I don't see what good it really did, I mean, they just made a chute.
Yeah,
And all that, now they're gonna have to be up there twice as much, cause. No, I don't think it's, that isn't what I thought they were doing.
no.
Okay, so is there any comments on correspondence? If people.
No, is there public comment just in general or what is
It's
that later?
coming up at 9:05.
Perfect. No.
We're into it right now.
Okay.
You come up and stay.
Yeah,
there,
I'd love to,
Danny.
love to
You got-
talk. Wanted to come by and stop by and introduce myself. My name's Joe D'Amico. And you just never know where life will take you. My motorhome broke down about 5 years ago. And ended up buying some property, saw some property for sale up on 190. 192 Boulder Creek Road, or I call it Boulder Creek, it's called Maxville Princeton Road. And I just wanted to stop by here and tell you that we ended up buying that property. And then we ended up buying a house here in town. And we just absolutely love this county. And I just wanted to come by here and tell you that we love everything about it. Wish you could keep it the same. We don't plan to come here and change anything or anybody. All the values of this county align with what we believe in and love. And I just wanted to stop by and say thank you and tell you that
Well, thanks, that's nice to hear, because one of my pet peeves is people moving in and saying, what a great place, let's change it, you know, and.
No, I appreciate it.
yeah, no, and that's what I would encourage you not to do.
That's why I was asking you earlier, what are you here for?
Yeah, no, I come from a town where I think I was fifth generation there. Family moved from the Dakotas over to Port Townsend, Washington. People came from California and changed it. We got roundabouts, we got sidewalks that are twice as wide as they're supposed to be. We got bike lanes, we got can't do this, can't do that, and it's become unlivable. It's not where I want to. I'm not, I still live over there, but I live over here part-time as well. But if there comes a time where you want to make, I like the fact that there's no, no strict building codes, and you're letting people live their lives as people want to live. And
Thank you.
it's just a wonderful place. But yeah, we've Scott, you got an amazing sheriff. Mr. Dunkerson, we've donated some rifles to him, and I'm in the security business,
Oh,
and I also manufacture rifles. And
wow.
so we-
Got cards?
I do have a card. Yeah, I can do card here, but you have an amazing man up there, a sheriff. I've met a lot of sheriffs in my 35 years of doing my business.
He's always looking for help.
I know that. I think he tried to recruit my boy. His dispatcher. But he's probably listening right now. I don't know. But anyways, you got great folks here, great people, and I just wanted to stop in and say, if people are coming in and they do want to come in and change, and you're looking at, I heard when I just was down here, I heard somebody was talking about, there might be a new hotel, and there might be this, and someone's doing a big development out in the county.
This is Paul, he's a road supervisor.
Oh, Paul, I know Paul.
I do.
Yeah, good, yeah. I've spent a lot of time down at the VFW since I've bought property. I bought property on Boulder, so I've gotten to know Paul, and and a whole bunch of people here, but my whole reason to come in here was just to say thank you for a lovely county and proceed,
I grew up in Bellingham, so, and that's changed so much that. It's horrible.
yeah,
I know.
and that's why we love it here and just. Everybody, just everything about this county is wonderful, and beautiful. That's it. So
Thank
carry
you.
on, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
You have one more.
Public comment,
Elena.
go ahead, Elena.
Oh, sorry, Blanche, I sent you the unmute request. You can ignore that.
What you do?
I sent Blanche a thing. You can ignore that.
Thank you. I want to thank you for getting the monthly claims and minutes posted online. Thank you for that. And to that other, I guess I'm glad we're in public comment now. And to whoever that person was, if he's still there, welcome him. And I'm sorry,
He introduced himself. I told him,
I didn't hear him.
there's something wrong with your.
Sorry. No, there isn't, because I'm here on remote, okay? If I can talk, and there's people here that are on remote, and I can tell every week somebody is making a face, they don't hear you, or they'll say, excuse me, all right? So it's not my computer. Now, I'm just giving a public comment right now.
His name was Joe.
And now
I was just.
all
telling-
all I'm saying, if he's still there, I want to welcome him and ask him to attend some of these meetings. That's what I wanted to say. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you gave you a thumbs up that you will. Any other public comment?
Very separate.
The first two are this one, Blackfoot,
Yeah, they're both Blackfoot.
Northwestern.
Yeah.
I figured you look at it. Well, good. And if you can sign them there in your district. Or what. Okay, well, we're gonna move on. No more public comments. Being none, we'll move on to the weekly report with Road and Bridge.
Oh. Oh,
The first thing I'll bring up is, we're jumping to solid waste, and that was a letter. Granite County contracting to haul and dispose of solid waste, entertain a motion on this, just that letter.
I think we should change a few things on that.
Okay.
Okay, it's the
Yeah,
letter.
get a hold of about hauling solid waste on the Deer line.
Oh.
Doesn't this have to be on the agenda to approve, or is it because it was on?
Well, we talked about last week that we was gonna get it out and look it over, and I think where it's on the solid waste deal, that's part of the agenda.
I believe you guys motioned on it last week too, to send a letter.
We made, and then we was gonna draft something together and look at it, make sure, just so we keep moving on it.
Yeah.
And made that, but we're in the solid waste right now. Yeah, copies of that, really, so.
So who wrote this?
Me and Blaine, and we kind of emailed it around.
You emailed this?
Me and Blaine and Paul kind of all were on an email chain.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't email the prelim to
I
us.
can't remember.
No, we just got it
I
done
can't see
at the
that
end of
far.
the day yesterday.
That's just a draft.
That's just a draft.
Yeah. We just couldn't remember, we wanted we wanted to make sure and look at it before we send it out. Last week we talked about looking at it and making something. You dropped your card. Oh, drop that over there. Look at that. Thank you. Have a good day. Yep, you too.
We'll see you later.
Yep, you too, Paul. Like all said, he wanted to change.
So I visited with Ron. Over there. And he's kind of the head guy there for the dump. And one thing where they want, like. We're trying to get some specific numbers and stuff like that, so. For sure, what they need before they can do anything at all, I told them I'd get at least 3 years of. This is what we did for 19, 20, and 21. Of our total tonnage. That needs to be included in that letter, so they can actually have something to figure from, to give them an idea.
Morning.
And, that's kind of the big thing.
Well, I think that's what we was trying to do with just get it started and get
Yeah.
everything in order, that shop to say, and then we can move on, at least get something.
Right. But I'm just saying, if we send that with the letter, that's just a step ahead. Then they can see exactly how many tons
Are you guys,
we're doing here.
are you good with that?
And they don't have any scales over there yet. But we have our own scales, so we could just weigh the trucks and then print off, which doesn't, that's down the road to figure that out, but. We wouldn't wanna go by the cubic yard, because even though our dumpsters are 45. Yard dumpsters, if you get one that's short or something to make a load up. Just by the ton is good because it's actual,
Do we own our dumpsters?
No,
So
we
we have to get dumpsters.
would have to get.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a spendy deal to get into, but you look on how much it costs, it's over 200,000 a year just for dumping. But I'm not, it's a long way down the road, first you gotta really look and see, but if we just keep moving, never know, might find something.
Dumpsters right now are $16,000 a piece. For 45 cubic yard dumpster.
So I visited with our auditor and Don Davies. He said that my term actuary, he said you wouldn't get an actuary. Said you probably get an engineer to look at, to see just exactly what the cost would be. And I was just wondering if maybe that would be someone like Great West, if that would be something they could do and look at and figure out our cost.
I think, personally, this is just my opinion, I think, we keep doing the legwork at first, so we don't have to pay an engineer. And then, as long as we're just trying to get information, we can get 90% of it themselves. But, we can be able to tell what, the only thing we're not gonna be able to tell is the fuel cost, because we don't know what it's gonna do. But then once you get the stuff, you know, you get the insurance and all that. I think we can do that. I just hate paying them guys all that money and then. Where it's just a study to see if it's gonna work. I think we have Brian and Paul and Billy.
Yeah, maybe, maybe one thing to do is the county drafts it up and have them like do like a quick review of it to see if it seems we're missing it.
I'm not against having
Yeah.
somebody look into it, but I think we can do a lot of the stuff ourselves before we pay somebody thousands. of
Like a lot of what stuff? What do you mean by stuff?
Like just checking out what, you know, with him, keep talking to him, finding out the cost of what it's gonna cost to dump, and then figuring out the haul and stuff.
Talking to who? Talking to who?
Deer lodge. The people were saying.
Deer Lodge isn't gonna know how much it's gonna cost us. I'm coming from what it's going to cost Granite County.
No, but we'll find out how much it costs to dump there, and then we'll figure
Oh,
out.
absolutely, that's what I'm saying, but I'm saying. Okay, if Paul, you feel you can gather all this information. And all the little ins and outs, and this is what it's gonna cost Granite County. And I guess our fees would stay the same. I'm saying that. I feel like, the auditor said getting an engineer would be able to do something like that. Our cost, and I said, using some of that money. Would be the $2 million that received to do the cost study. Or else I guess, Paul, you can do the cost study, you have all the time in the world to do it.
Well, I just have the numbers ready, so like now we have our total tons, we can easily get how much we've paid each year, you know, and figure that part of it out. But you still gotta have, you guys gotta have meetings with them to see if it's feasible, to see if they're, you know,
Right,
just like the letter says, see if they're gonna allow it and do all that, and then.
Yeah, I think we're just sending a letter and.
That's-
Yeah.
that-
This stuff.
I agree, absolutely, but you're saying, no, we could do it all ourselves before.
Oh, I agree.
Not all ourselves. I mean, just get a rough estimate and then we could
Instead,
prove it out by what you're
Okay.
saying.
And then give
Well,
that
yeah,
guy
we
a number and say, here it is.
I agree with you getting somebody,
Okay.
but I think we should do as much as we can ourselves to save some money too. Just like he said, the $16,000 on the dumpster, you know how many, they don't know how many we're gonna get. Paul knows what's each there.
Well, let's get permission first, I think,
Yeah, right.
permission from them
Oh, yeah.
to see if they would even let us
This
know.
letter.
Yeah, I agree with the letter.
Because now they'll. You know, they'll be able to tell by our dump how many tons we've averaged for the last 3 years, so they can probably give you guys. This is the next amount of number that'll cost you to dump. And then it's just the rest of it.
So do
Yeah.
you need a motion to send a letter? I'll make a motion to send a letter with the addition of the last 3 years tonnage. To Gulf County. See if they're interested.
I'll second it.
Any public comments?
Word like this.
Meetings, man.
Yeah, the original.
Have to sign
You want us to add a sentence that says attached is the, or last 3 years tonnage?
Say that again.
Do you want us to add a sentence that says attached is the last 3 year tonnage from Granite County?
The taxes.
Tonnage,
Tiny,
is that
that's
tonnage?
what
Yeah,
it's got right here.
I was wondering if you wanted to add a sentence that says that's attached.
Prior signing.
I guess send it with it.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Will they sign it? and send it?
I think it should be noted in the letter though, saying that attached is.
All right, I'll add,
Instead of, they're going, what says, and it doesn't say anything in the letter about attached.
You can just align at the bottom.
yeah.
Ready, whoa, go back on the road then.
Well, one more quick thing on the dump. Did get the hydraulic pump back for the compactor for the drum and dump. And we're getting that all put together today. But the heaters are burned out. Hopefully they're gonna be here today as well. I won't know that if I get out of here in a couple hours, but. We got everything all drained. We're gonna leave it that way till we put the new heaters in, so we don't have to do it twice. But he should be up, with any luck, up and compacting again by tomorrow, that's the latest, if the heaters get here. So, Parts of the roads were just throwing a little sand here and there. It's been cold, there hasn't been, you know,
That's supposed to warm up a bit, huh?
finally, yeah.
They-
That's about all I got.
Yeah, I said 46 on Friday,
Oh, wow.
but Beamer,
Good.
believe it when we see it, huh?
Right.
I don't know, I can do multiple copies, just like that. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and pass that.
Gonna make a minor change to it.
Hmm.
He's gonna put,
Oh,
I just-
she just did it, yeah, she did it, she's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did say. We've been gonna tear that little house down all for. A long time. And that Ron, he said that we can smash her down. And haul it into Deer Lodge for nothing, just to try their downfall. So. One of these days, we'll probably get that done.
Which house?
It's right next to the shop and hall, kind of behind that tree there.
Was it actually a house or a storage? It was a house.
Years ago, and
This, yeah, more of just an eyesore, huh?
yeah, and I use it for parking and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on the roads or solid waste, any public comment?
Elena.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. That letter and your reply to it, is that going to be on the agenda next week?
No, but I will post it.
I'm sorry?
I will post it online for review at the end.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
the letter was on last week's agenda to write to the commissioners in Powell County.
Okay, so. You have anything else, Paul?
No,
Elena still wants that.
Go ahead, Elena.
Okay, I guess that was directed to me that the letter was on last week to write. I didn't see a copy of the letter from them. And I think Billy said she'll post it online.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was talking about. Thank you.
We
There
didn't
wasn't a
have a
letter.
letter from them, thank you.
No,
We talked about this.
Okay, this
Go ahead.
This was discussed last week with Paul Alt during our weekly report with the solid waste, and it was discussed to write a letter to Powell County to request to see if possibly we could send solid waste to their landfill. So the letter was written and we were looking at it and decided to send it today. Is that okay, Blaine?
Yeah, yes, yeah. And just posting the letter online, that it works. Another thing, I did talk to Chad Lannis, and he's doing a little research on the landfill. Starting to do a little research, so, you know, it's not like, I mean, that's a possibility as well, so. Like a class 2 one, I mean, you wouldn't be wanting to take like hazardous materials or anything, right? You're talking just a simple one, yeah. That's a possibility too, so keep looking into that.
Yeah, look at all avenues.
Mhm. We think we have to, because it's a big chunk of money. I mean, it's gonna be more people. Alrighty, anything else?
When we were visiting with that on solid waste last week and you thought maybe. Did you look into the fact that possibly we're too close to?
Yeah, I've been looking at the administrative rules, and I haven't yeah, my assumption is wrong. So yeah, I think it's a, I know it's a possibility. So, yeah, the administrative rules aren't very simple, but yeah,
Rock pit, is he moving out there now or?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. So we're gonna take one of the graders out there and rip the ground up some and take a loader and shove all the sagebrush and the top off of it. And he should be, hopefully he's out there within 2 weeks. He said he was going out as soon as he finished up brushing where he was at, so. A little bit, I had to say. Other than that, that's it.
Sure.
one of the things I did find is that there's a, well, the, there's a, like a. Let's see what it's, a small community exemption that makes the regs a little lighter, but if you have a, but that may not apply to us. If you have, well, it says it applies if community that experiences an annual interruption of at least 3 consecutive months of surface transportation that prevents access to a regional waste management facility, or a community has no practical waste management alternative. I'm not talking about like not one within 100 miles. So that one doesn't apply since we have a couple within 100, right? So the but if this yeah, so I don't know that exemption applies, but just means, yeah, you have more regulations that fall in there, but doesn't mean it's out.
Did you hear anyone on Red Lion?
Did someone want me to tell them?
Go ahead.
So I talked to Robert Ross, whose property that is. Because I'd sent an email to Thomas Crawford saying, are you the one that put those rocks up there? Robert Ross is the landowner the rocks are at. It's his driveway. I was like, you gotta do an encroachment permit application on that. And he didn't understand that. So he's gonna do that, I believe. But I go, in the meantime, if you're not gonna be able to move those this winter, then it's gotta be marked. And I think he was like reflectors or something. That was my thought, but I said, talk to Paul, and I think he was gonna talk to Paul.
And I talked to Nick about it, and you can't get in there without, you gotta be on snowcat, so.
What's that?
Well, on that Red Line Road, you can't get in there to put cones or nothing up.
You put it on.
Nick said you just get in there and get buried in a pickup, so that has to be done on a snowmobile or, so that landowner needs to figure that out himself and get something put in there.
He never did call you.
I've never talked to the man.
Cause
Only one I talked to was Nick.
what I'm worried where it's been noted now, somebody goes up there and hits one of them rocks on there.
Yeah.
Where's it come back to?
Right now it's exposed, but yeah, get more snow and it'll be back hidden. So yeah, he needs to get up there. I will call Mr. Ross today then, because he was supposed to have been talking to Paul. This idea of ignorance, I didn't know what the law was. It's almost intentional ignorance in my opinion. I mean,
So that guy doesn't live there.
not year round, no, but he did. Oops.
But he's got the rocks there. and
Yeah.
approach and
Yeah,
stuff.
so where's it from?
Billings. But he did say, oh, I'm trying to get along with everyone up there. I'm not trying to rock the boat or cause problems. He goes, I'll take care of it. But him not calling Paul right away frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that it's noted now when somebody hits it going sledding up there or something. Where they're right
Yeah.
there.
You're right, absolutely.
The
Yeah.
county can't get up in there. I mean, this should,
Yeah.
why would the county, it should be all on him now.
Yeah, and he still needs to do the encroachment permit application, but in the meantime, he needs to get up there to himself to market.
Market or remove them.
Yeah,
So we sent him a letter.
well, I'll call him today as well, but yeah, I'll follow it up with a letter.
You, all right, with that, fine. Anything else?
No.
All right, Oh, we'll move on to the
See you later.
Brandon Parrot Dam Timbers report, Georgetown Lake outflow, I think it's a.
Well, it looks like it stayed the same. I'm still inclined to stay where we're at for another week, see what it does.
This is this. This is. This is the one.
I figured that.
So you wanna leave it at 10?
I'm inclined to do that. Stay at 10.
And second,
Are you okay with 10? So leaving it at 10 for another week. Things that stayed the same. Then we should maybe start building it up and dropping it to 6 or what? Give me a reason.
Yeah, we
That's
gotta
good.
really start thinking about it, but doesn't do anything. I think it'll do something. I think it'll start going back up. You know, it was just real cold this week and, you know, not going in, it's warm enough, you know, you're gonna get some more melt.
So when it warms up a little bit, we'll get a little bit more.
I would think so.
I think we'll start going over, more will start coming in.
Yeah, Todd's report, it said either way, 6 or 10, it would probably fill. So,
Yeah,
We just keep an eye on it every week, and then if it looks like we can back it down just a little bit and just try to get it full.
yeah, his report was very promising, I thought.
I mean, it's only a middle of the day.
Yeah, okay, I will second your keeping it at 10.
Any public comment? On favor? Motion been carried and passed. I think it's real, it's just gonna take, once it starts, it seems like it kind of, sudden. We can still dump some to make money too.
I mean, it was really cold, nothing was melt.
Right, 24 below.
Say that again.
Oh, one other thing on that, the gasometer, huh? Did I hear last week that it wasn't checked all the time?
Mhm.
Did you check into that?
I did, I checked into it, I got a hold of Great West the next morning. And according to our DSMP, we are supposed to be checking that monthly. I don't know where I put the paper right now, but we are supposed to check that monthly. There are other stipulations where it needs to be checked right away, as in an earthquake within, I think, 100 miles. And if the lake is over a certain level, which is over full, essentially, then it needs to be checked daily. So there was that earthquake last week in Ravalli, Montana. So I did reach out to Brandon and I connected Brandon with Jonathan, since the piezometers are essentially frozen over right now. And he did go out and visually inspect the dam, and there was no disturbances, nothing seemed out of order. And I got with Jonathan and Jeremiah the next day, and we did get that information sent off to FERC.
So a guy, I wonder if he's gonna have to have one of the county guys go up and thaw that off, so they can get that lid off to check it.
It's right in the roadway, right?
Mhm.
But it was had ice over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll get a hold of Paul and have one of the guys run up and take a weed burner and thaw that, so they.
Yeah,
can
thaw it out,
set the
so-
lights off.
Yeah.
Remember, that's what happened
Yes,
last year.
we gotta check.
So. I'm gonna call Paul. Maybe he can get hold of Brandon and take Brandon with him.
Yeah.
And we are gonna start having the dam tenders report, so we, monthly report compilation of it, I'm gonna start sending to Jeremiah, so he can start double checking and tracking some of that information as a second follow-up on. Things that are going on up
Up
there.
to the dam, the kilometer.
And there's a random side note,
Once a month.
there's, we'll have a call with Kelsey from FERC on the 13th. About it. Kelsey from FERC, you'll do your owner site inspection
And then-
follow-up call on December 13th.
Yeah. sooner the better. Would you text Paul down his number? That, oh, it's 533-5895.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, we're a couple minutes early, but we're gonna move on to Montana distributors and it's in opioid settlement, MOU, discussion decision.
Hold on 1 second, I gotta send this contact call.
She said, wait a second.
I got on that conference call last week for the town hall for the opioid settlements. Our county is already, we registered, right? Blaine?
Yeah,
We registered, we've already signed amendments, or the original MOU and the amendment. And so is what has happened now is there is essentially a trust that has been developed that'll get like 70% of all the settlement funds. And not all the settlements have come through yet. There will be future settlements coming through from like Purdue, CVS, Walmart, all the bigger settlements. County will get our regular 15%. However, we are part of an abatement region. We are part of region 4. The metro regions are kind of pulled out, they're their own, but within our region, they want us to meet within that region and create an MOU with the other counties in that region and select 2 people amongst that whole region to be our representatives upon the board of trustees, essentially governing the money. There's a lot of information.
so then
on
people
that, but-
can, counties can, if they have a project, can go and request that monies to be used. The direct amount to the county is like a little over $700, so nothing, but might have other public, potentially public health projects that we can tap into that money, so. Yes, working with, I would say, working with the public health
Yeah.
department. Looking at projects that can be done here.
You can come up with it.
And Mako has launched a toolkit on their website, so we can start. They're starting to roll out some more resources.
We're in like Missoula region.
I think I handed my thing to.
Figured I could chime in a little bit on here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the counties actually are kind of liaisoning with their public health department, just because so much of the work that we do connected at DPHHS.
State your name.
Oh, Lauren Bolton, public health, so no longer interim public health director. So
Congratulations.
official now. And so, but yeah, a lot of that is through DPHHS, so they're kind of tying it to the state strategic plan for kind of all of the other behavioral health and substance use money that's there, so. As those things, move forward, I think it would be a great thing to work together, to decide what. If anything's needed for Granite County, and the other group I think about, that knows a lot about, what people need is the Healthy Granite Network. For that kind of realm too, so.
Yeah, good point. The region we're in with Anaconda, Deer Lodge, Powell, Silverbow, Madison.
Is
Yeah.
Silverbow a metro that's pulled out? Anything with the stripes,
Oh,
is a metro.
Silverbow's pulled out, yes, okay, so just the smaller counties around it.
Mm.
So we need a motion on this to
I don't
move on
know.
with it, or how's that work? I don't.
So it-
Motion to have Blaine come up with an MOU. Another one?
Well, or
You're the authorized official.
oh, because you were chair when we began.
But it didn't say chair, it said authorized official. It was you at the time because you were the chair. So the email's gonna come to, the email's gonna come to the commissioner.
Commissioner.
And then what? Then we have to get with the other counties
Yeah,
and find,
And create
So-
the MOU amongst.
yeah, so a potential motion to proceed forward. There'll be a model MOU out there that the AG's office will have, but we'll have to have some potentially Zoom meetings or something like that to,
Mako talked about facilitating some of those meetings amongst the counties to help get these MOUs.
so does each county have to go in there and go into that portal and fill it out and say, okay, we're gonna designate. How does that happen? How do we find out whether or not who we're designating to be the spokespeople for our region?
You have to come up with it with those other counties.
I know we're looking
Yeah.
at the other counties.
so there's
but-
likely gonna be a
Meeting.
potentially group meeting on Zoom or something like that. But
So does
Sounds like
Granite
Mako.
County have to go in according to this and because did we get that email from? Yeah, the directive to go in there and fill out into the portal.
So we've already registered within the portal. We've already registered. We've already done the original MOU and amendment with DOJ and the Attorney General's office. We have
So it
just,
says after creating the portal, you will complete a payment election. Form in the W-9, have we done that?
I don't know, have we,
No.
maybe we haven't done that yet.
not that I'm aware.
I mean,
So we just
it looks
did the
like these
initial
are instructions that have to be done
Yeah,
before any payment. Hooray.
What is it?
I would say a motion to move forward with the,
process.
with the process of, as directed in the.
Which we'd want to allow, I mean, if we have our whole $704 that we could put into public health would be. Okay, we want our $704 to put into our public health.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
we're rich. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we follow through on the requirements to receive our direct payments for the ODOT, the settlement, however you pronounce that.
Opioid.
Any public comment on this? Being none, all in favor?
Aye. And so what you're requesting is to use it in the public health would be a good, is that?
A lot of counties are doing that just because public health already does a lot of prevention work, and I think this money is earmarked specifically for prevention. So a lot of times they're a great house. Like I had said, Healthy Granite Network could also be a good house with some of the work that they do. So I think whenever it comes through, it would just be a conversation about where the dollars best could be spent.
The way I look at it, you have to have a project, so they would get together, potentially collaborating on a project or individual project coming to the commission. And then we request it.
Okay, so is it going to go into the Region 4 fund, more or less? Is that what we're doing? Then they have the Region 4, then we'll ask permission to have our $704.
No, the $700 is direct payment, that's coming.
Okay.
It's there's the other trust funds that can be accessed. There will come through, yeah. What we actually get, we have a project and request, it doesn't mean we'll get it fully funded, but
But this is
Hopefully
the
with-
start of it to get to 700 and then you can.
Yeah.
Move on.
So essentially would we just be applying, like it would be a project proposal to.
yeah, that's my
to the
understanding,
trust?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Aye.
All right, well, we have a few minutes before we start the next one. Public health contract. How's it going?
Going good. Busy. Lots to do.
Job security, huh?
That's right. Every time I feel like I get something accomplished or fixed, I'm like, oh no, now we gotta do this.
Got a good bunch, they're doing good.
Yeah, it's a good crew, really good crew. And it's really nice to be able to focus on all of our regular programs and not have as much focus on COVID.
Yeah. Take the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gotta look at everything, not just narrow scope.
exactly. And I think everybody missed, the other programs that we did. The reason why a lot of people got into their jobs and then they haven't been able to really do some of those things for a few years. So I think it's good that we're getting back to normal.
Appreciate the work you guys are doing, and the work down there.
It's a lot of paperwork. There is a lot of
Yeah.
paperwork.
Get in and out of there quite a bit, at least. Busy places.
They are staying busy, which is really good.
Shots and flu shots and flu shots and
Mhm.
Pretty good.
I don't even know the number of flu shots that they did in October, but it was quite a bit.
Yeah, she was been good. I asked her and yeah,
Yeah,
it was crazy.
so that's always good. And we've been able to kind of work out some of the billing processes and,
Getting that line out. I was like, well,
yeah,
um,
yeah, no, I think it'll be just fine.
kind of curious. Some of that.
Yeah.
Going,
Good, how are you?
good.
A copy of that draft letter that you guys for the solid waste.
Yep. Or you want the final version?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Final version?
Yeah.
Here's the
Copy.
final version.
Oh, it is?
I want, I need Stu. Dale.
There's a attachment.
Paul just texted me back and asked that I notify the commission that he talked to Brandon and Brandon said he doesn't need any help from the road department. He has his own stuff. Thank you.
Okay. I thought the other day there he was talking like he had to get a heater. That's why the only reason I thought. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He can get
Yeah.
on.
It's good that he has his own equipment there.
Well, sooner the better. We need to get that done. Put it on with it. When we're up there the other day. We got them good. Slider needs to go to
Because like,
is it on here?
no, you guys just.
Well, yeah,
motioned on-
5 minutes. Can we approve this letter to the Anaconda Catholic community? We talked about last week, we can have a letter that they could use it. They, only thing I see the other day when we was up there, truck, somebody ran into it and knocked the meter off, so they'll have to fix the meter. I guess they'll take care of all of that. And did you pass that on, Billy?
That meter's not close to the road, is it?
Well, somebody backed into.
Oh, it backed.
It sits out there and somebody, you see where. that
Okay.
is.
But you don't even know who did it?
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Where's the meter at?
Right next, right this side of the.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's that one that we put in and we put a plug in, so.
For the,
Yeah,
bill to
yeah.
oh, yeah,
yeah, somebody hit it.
so it's close to the A-frame.
Careful.
Did you go look at that road?
Now I had it out and then I had a wreck. Oh,
You read?
no. I had it.
Hey, Billy, I forgot to ask Paul, did we find somebody to scoop the snow off?
I did talk to the city and the city said that as long as when it snows like that, that the employees are not parking right here first thing in the morning and they're parking in the lot, that they can get the snow scraped off.
So we need to put a notice each
Employee.
employee don't park out with snow and hard and not to park out.
What was that? I didn't quite catch what you guys were talking about.
Yeah, people don't park out there if it snows a lot. the city will.
City will clean it there, okay, which is the city's responsibility. Clean it,
Um,
That's it,
Yeah.
We end up usually.
so park in the parking lot.
Mhm. And we can take and move that one, that's, certain rescue, I don't know what, they can take it out to the county. And ask the sheriff about that other car, if they're not using, maybe move it over to their alleyway, so then they can plow. He's gonna start tearing all that out too, and then the pipe and put them in, so. Need to move all that, we can ask the sheriff and move it out.
I don't know if Bob's gonna be here or not.
He called me 9 times, I've called him at least at me a month. I was in any back and forth. I don't know what he's going on with the pocket. He left me weird. Now, hey. Okay.
That's it.
Hey. Right, well, we're 2 minutes early, but we're gonna go ahead and go into the public health contract with Anaconda Deer Lodge County. You're on again.
All right.
Your name.
Lauren Bolton, the Public Health Department. I don't really have much to say. I just kind of was here in case you all had any questions or wanted any updates from the Public Health Department. So this was signed by our commission CEO and county attorney.
Do we have it?
That's Tuesday. Yes. In your packet. Maybe not last, whichever the Tuesday was, that wasn't election day.
I just have a question on, did they explain to you why they didn't want to do the 3 years and wanted to do the 1 year?
They just said that we'll evaluate as we move on, and if you all wanted to chat with them about it, you're more than welcome to.
The,
I entertain a motion.
I just say I like 3-year better, but 1 year and look at it again. Hopefully works out well and that we can
Yeah.
expand it, but it's.
And we are working on some things just on our end to make sure that we're tracking all the good things that we're doing so that we can present them both to you and to our commission about how this benefits both counties.
I think it's a really good deal. I'd love to have it 3 years. I don't know what the deal was. I think maybe once they get caught up and new,
Yeah,
maybe they're just evaluating how everything sit.
yeah, and I think, the dust is settling and we'll have a little bit more confidence in the end. And I hope that will just kind of strengthen all this moving forward.
So I'd entertain a motion on the year professional service agreement, public health.
So this just goes until June.
June, yeah. So we're into
Yeah,
it 6 months
absolutely.
already. So we'll have to renew it by July 1.
Yeah, hopefully starting the process probably
Yeah.
early May
And
or,
a couple
yeah.
hours, yeah,
Maybe we could set up a meeting with them, even if we have to go over there or something, just to meet with them and sit down and see if we can just talk it over to see.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, especially moving into, I think we do all of our, budget and all that kind of stuff in April and May. I'm sure the same as everybody else, and so it's a good time to talk about it.
okay, so this is just to understand that. We agreed to do the 3-year, Anaconda Deer Lodge came back saying, no, they want 1 year, and we did this months ago. And this is just Anaconda Deer Lodge coming back with saying 1 year and for us to accept it, so I moved that. We accept the public health contract with Anaconda Deer Lodge. For the year that we're in right now, with it being renewed by July 1 of 23.
I don't understand why we don't just go with what we have until. Next June. Next year.
Well, we're supposed to be in a contract right now with them
Are-
because
are
it
we
was
in
a
a
yearly,
contract?
no, because Anaconda Deer Lodge didn't sign it.
Well, it's basically a performance contract. It's almost like a month to month type deal right now, but want to get it signed.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I mean, it's working out fine, but just
Yeah.
get it signed.
Yeah, we're still coming over. Deb comes to Granite County every Monday and then Jen and Deb come over here on Wednesdays.
Okay, I'll second.
Any public comment on this? Being none, all in favor? No, I appreciate it. I wish we could do the three, but I just, maybe we can sit down with them and just
Yeah.
talk it over. And I think once everything's settled back down.
And we're doing some work on our end too, to just get things a little bit more organized.
Well, I think our contract with the Tri-County Sanitarian is yearly also, so for whatever reason.
They've never signed a contract, but you know, when they had when there was litigation over something that Chad did, Mako, we had insurance coverage. But I did draft a contract and sent it over and it was never
You can
signed.
find that other one, like $15,000.
Yeah. The one that I proposed was similar to like this, but they've never signed it.
So we've never actually signed a contract for sanitarian.
Not, no.
It just
It just goes.
a done thing, Tri-County.
Not fun how those things work.
And I guess you guys could say, you know, not gonna enter into it, we're not gonna continue this if you don't sign it, if you don't sign something, but. I don't know. Working, he's got insurance coverage and he's doing his job, but
Give us a third of the life of our car back. No.
I wish he'd come in a little more too and give a little more updates what's going on, instead of us waiting to always ask him to come in. And right now, like once a month, it'd be nice if he come in. So we know what's going on. What's he finding now and where we're sitting.
See how come you give it to me?
I'll have
Yeah.
Sarah sign this one too.
Oh, here. And I guess the only other thing while I'm up here is if there is anything that you all would like to know about on a regular basis that we could, whether it's a report, I know we do our Board of Health, so we're kind of trying to come up with a Board of Health report, but if there is anything, just reach out to us and we can make sure to get that information to you.
You know, I appreciate all the hard work and what you've done. It's honestly. I want to.
Kind of nice to work over here every once in a while too. We drive, exactly. Always a good excuse to come over here.
Yeah, every copy of it. On there. Oh. Yeah. On the call.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Feel free.
Here's something on their copy.
Yeah. I think I am driving back before this meeting is over. I was gonna meet with Granite County Medical Center and then we just had some things come up, but
Yeah, this is no big deal.
okay, yeah. You all have my phone number, my cell phone number. You need it? I do, I think I
I got Jack and gave me a card. or something.
Okay.
I have it. I'm-
Yeah, you can share.
We don't even get chance to have them and, that's.
I do have your cell phone number. Do it to you. I will share it with stuff. Okay. Yeah, so if anything comes up, feel free to reach out. Even Jackie is really the one that knows everything. She knows a lot. And there is that, I'm sure you're aware of it, but the school shooter training on December 7th, active shooter, not school shooter, active
She's
shooter.
stressing.
I know. But we're gonna be there. I think it'll be really good. Anything Jackie does is really good. So,
It'll be good. That guy coming and that, what's his name? Some guy.
I don't know who it is either, but I'm excited. It'll be,
Opens up the eyes in the schools, you know, especially with, you know, the damn interstate right there. I mean, just everywhere anymore, you know, you see it on the news,
you know,
scary.
so yeah, it's always good to do those tabletops and it's always good to get everybody together. You know, people that can talk that much in a while too. They can do things.
You guys still go up to the hospital then too?
The Granite County Medical Center. So we've been working with them a lot more over the past few months, which has been really, really great. We haven't been up there. I think we're just kind of starting to talk with them about what the relationship with public health looks like moving forward and how we want to work together, but they've been really great to work with.
When did you officially become?
Last Tuesday,
Congratulations.
right?
Exciting.
Now it's the real deal. But it's been good.
That's good.
Have a really good crew.
That's awesome.
Where it went?
Right away. I'm sure he's making copies of it. Thank you so much.
Figured out that million stuff out there, you know,
Working on it. Yeah, just some communication. I think we'll probably start doing some monthly billing meetings, just so we can make sure that we're getting all the information. Sending all the information that's needed, getting it back, and I think I know. And that's the thing, I'm getting into billing. Thank you very much.
Yep, Sarah has a copy, on the Billy, I've got a copy, we're.
Yeah, great. All right, well, that's all from me. You all have a wonderful rest of your day and happy Thanksgiving.
You do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good film.
We'll go off a little bit.
Yeah.
Go back on. Okay, we're a minute early. We're MSU Extension Office Contract renewed. What do you got?
So I got the printout for you, and so essentially, I'll give it to you here in a second. I think it's explained in here, but they just have the formula for what the county picks up from my share of the salary. And so right now, this one would be $31,492.43. And then right down below is just the breakdown of what you guys contribute as far as our budget.
It's still 65%, is that correct?
Yes, and then the maximum would be 37. It caps it at that, so.
And that was budgeted, already budgeted?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
budgeted, we received that knowing that it's gonna be 65%. They received that we are what COLA we're giving and come back with the contract, so. We've pretty much budgeted everything and just wait for the contract to. And then just sign a yearly thing that, well, I don't know, maybe we got an off band, what do you think?
What keep me on?
This is Karen's through.
So hers is in here. Yeah, right. So, yeah, so this is like, this is basically what our budget is.
Yeah, that's their budget, and then if it includes
Travel, supplies, all that.
and Karen's
And
budget.
Karen's.
But
Yeah, it's all right.
this is only supplement to
Mhm.
him, and that's just our full budget.
I'd entertain a motion on that.
I make a motion, we accept the budget for FY 2023 extension services agreement.
My second.
Any public comment? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The other thing, maybe you should come up once in a while.
Yeah.
Kind of give us a little more
Sure.
update going on.
I can do
I
that.
didn't ask about 4-H, so I'm not that. Well, I would say, we'll call Ben or Karen, and, yeah, he can come up now and then, just so we're all
Okay,
kind of staying on the.
Talking about like on the agenda quarterly or something, or just more.
Yeah, come up and just say what's going on here and there, just touch bases with us. Let us know like on the week, frame, how it's working, or what. When.
I did learn something interesting here the other day. That. I don't know, maybe it's just me being. Thinking it'd be kind of fun, sorry, it'd be kind of fun, the week coordinator up in Haber. He ended up finding grant money to buy a drone, to spray weed with.
Oh,
So that'd be interesting, and we could, like, we've almost never been able to spray like the Flint Creek Hill. Cause it's steep and the traffic would be a nightmare, you'd almost have to close the road. It's like,
that'd be interesting.
it would be, but then I was thinking. I think what they did up in Haber was they partnered with DES. You know, and so if there's other departments that. Cause I was like, well, then you can do a lot of mapping and different stuff maybe too, so. I was kicking that around here.
I see they did a lot better on posting their signs this year, like on that interstate last year. I was in Manhattan.
Yeah, right.
They did way better, they had better signage out there spraying, they still sold down, but at least they got. It's just scary because they're going
Oh, yeah.
10 miles an hour and they're.
Yeah, that interstate's the scariest place to spray it on. Just
If you do find a grant, do an application, get on the commission's
Sure.
agenda and, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of get a hold of those guys and see how they found that money and if the county had to even put in any money to buy it, I don't know, but. I think the nicer end drone sprayer was about 40,000, so they are spending.
Well, good job and thank you. Tell Karen good job.
Yeah, I will, so,
And that sign, can I get a copy of it?
Yeah,
Is it already
I'll,
signed by MSU?
no, so
Okay,
I'll ship this off to them and then, our
Yeah.
director signs it.
okay, don't mind sending me a copy.
Yep, they'll send me the final one, and they signed it on their end too, so I'll get you a
Sounds
copy.
good, thanks.
Yep,
Thanks.
thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
We're a little bit early. I'm the one, I put this on about the ham, about Christmas ham for everybody. I thought if we was gonna do it, we probably better get on the ball. I didn't know if we were or not, but if we are, we need to order them before it's too late. And I'm going to put this on. You want ham?
Do you think we can budget it? I mean, can we afford it, yeah?
I guess a slice. for you. You can have part of mine.
I have heard from a few people on for next year, but for the Christmas party, they'd like to do like a dinner and do that instead of hams. Just saying, have you heard that too?
Do what now?
Do a employee dinner for Christmas next year and instead of doing hams. That's the
Well,
thought.
the worst thing about it is a lot of the guys like the road crew guys won't come up there, so I mean, it's an option. for them.
Yeah.
This way, I don't know, I always thought of giving a hand pretty cool.
It's a
Okay,
nice
yeah,
gift.
I see it's nice where you're coming from, but like you said, just the turnout isn't gonna be,
Cause you
if
lose.
it doesn't
you lose the
happen,
whole-
the turnout isn't gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, if they're invited, they might know.
And
So
the
they can do
big
maybe-
food, I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of the ones are tents and that and give, and then like public health and that, and we, you know.
Maybe they could elect to do it. Attend the dinner, and they're talking about dinner instead of having the,
A
like the
dinner
potluck.
going to like.
Like Silver Mill, yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
The commissioners paying for it. Cause they
Yeah.
pay for the hams.
yeah. And doing that instead of the potluck. This is thought.
know what to think about this year, let's go with the ham, better than the animals. Yeah.
All right, pumpkin cookies.
Oh, wow.
I entertain a motion to give Blanche a half.
Drops them off at the vet's
Oh.
office. That way I'm sure they'll go out and take them.
Thank you.
I'll second it. Oh, you're entertaining the motion. Okay, motion to give county employees Christmas hams.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's life, man.
Yeah, do the spiral if they can.
Yeah. I get, and then go through Huffman's.
Yeah, go through how we want to be local.
Right, nice second.
Any public comment on this? Being sign on favor.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, that's very good. Wow.
Thank you.
Well, my husband doesn't like pumpkin pie, so I made pumpkin muffins for the library meeting last
They
week.
were very good. Can I get clarification on the hams? Last year, you guys told me not to any of the contract employees, and I heard from the contract employees last year that you guys had always done them in the past, so I just need clarification this year.
Who's the contractor?
So our contract employees would be from public health. We have Jen Robinson and Deb, and then
Chad.
Jen is also a contract employee. Oh, and Chad.
Chad.
I moved to Chad last year.
I think we should. I mean, they're
Okay.
part of us. I know they're contract, but they do a lot for us, you know.
Yeah, I just needed to
Are
know.
you wanting to include the offices downstairs, the people that use our offices that are not contracted?
No, they're not. They're not contracted by us at all.
I like, you know, like Deb and that where she works.
So we didn't give Ben one last,
No,
She's
he's contracted.
Scrooge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can get one someplace else.
Well, so can we. Don't be so tight.
No, I mean, who they contract with.
I think we were.
We're talking about like Ben Hoffman and Chad Lannis and
And Deb Robinson and Jen Robinson.
public health nurse.
Hey.
Those are-
Put that cookie back.
I
To
just,
give him a copy of the Christmas Carol.
I just need to know when I order them,
Yeah.
so I know. Last year, you guys just did employees.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Ball.
And I have one
Well, he eats
other,
a Christmas cookie, like a mom.
I have one other follow-up on that. I did pull a list of employees, so I had a general idea. And I do have one fill-in employee that hasn't worked in the last year. Don't include that employee.
No, we haven't worked them that way, though.
It's a fill-in employee. They just haven't actually worked a shift in the last year.
They're on the payroll.
Yes, but
If
they,
they're on the payroll, I think they should get one, whether
Okay.
they. A fill-in, maybe they didn't need them, but they're still on the payroll.
Now I'm becoming Scrooge.
Okay.
Thanks, Chuck.
okay, thank you.
My other.
I have all my clarifications, so
I'm just giving mine.
Oh.
I just need mine away.
segue from that, I had talked to you earlier, about the employees were wondering if the commissioners were going to do a dish or anything or pay for any main dish for the Christmas potluck upstairs, which of course is on a Tuesday.
By employees, she meant the county attorney.
You're- Okay,
It's not in behalf of commissioners, I think it's in behalf of the people that go to the dinner, but
Okay.
if not, they bring something.
I never, I'm not, I don't.
I know before the commission would throw in some, like, pulled pork the one time.
Chicken. Part of my chicken from.
Yeah, that was, I think, Art did himself.
You can use one of the hams.
Use mine.
You want to put my-
Use mine, I don't.
I don't know that they'll be in yet that day. I've been doing.
Chuck's bringing two
projecting.
hands.
So no on that, I don't need to coordinate anything for that or,
It's too late in the year for that, maybe next year.
okay,
Just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, it's on December 6th. The Christmas party.
Five minutes.
That's good. Library doing all right?
Oh, that's the rules of the games.
Good.
Nothing frozen up or anything?
No, we leave that stupid, you know, that door open so that we.
Oh, yeah, so.
Hey, please.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
You know, my husband, he goes, I think I was like, over halfway through, he says, chocolate chips would be nice. So his had chocolate chips.
I think my son would move in with you.
That's the only reason Scott married me. Oh, yeah.
Good code.
Come on up, we're a couple minutes early.
Yeah, I'm flexible.
Okay, we're gonna jump right into the Phillipsburg Community Library update, the chairperson, Barbara, go ahead.
All right, I gave you out give a staff report to Billy, so she could pass it on and you could read it over, but I just always want to report, I think it was May, the last time I was here. Busy summer, and both spaces are rented, and of course, the brewery is building their own facility down near Sunshine Station, but they won't be moving out until probably May. So that, you know, that gives us a steady income, and then the studio is rented through December 31st, and they plan to renew again. It's a couple. Grants, Headwaters, we still have some funds left from those classes in the summer. Those, you know, because we have a tight budget, and some of those, that money, because Kristen is the program manager, she, some of her wages come out of it.
I just have one question you had. In the whole 17,139. On financial summary, top page.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so that's in the whole cash wise, that's not, you're not.
we're not
negative
in
on
the
your
hole.
Budget.
No,
There's a difference between
right,
cash and
right,
budget.
because we don't get property money coming in until December. So thank goodness we have a balance forward that helps
So, and
us.
that's why there's usually a reserve. Are they not putting a reserve in your budget? That helps carry over?
Who does that?
Well,
Even just the
usually,
library in
Yeah,
general.
and you're.
The library in general has a balance forward. We, I think when we became independent from the town, we actually had a balance of about $25,000. And that kind of flows, thank goodness, it flows forward. But yes, we do keep a close eye on our,
Well-
you know, the 48.5 that we will be getting from tax.
and then you turn your budget into Sarah, correct?
Yep,
And does she not have a reserve
I'm gonna go get it.
on her budget? Is what I'm saying. So you do your budget and you reserve so much to follow through so that your cash isn't in the hole.
we don't have anything like that as a line item on our budget.
It's in the, yeah, we'll get, yeah, we can get the budget.
Okay, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know something
that's a
like
good
that
point.
existed. We just felt fortunate that we have that buffer. You know, and when, as the year goes on, like in May, when I reported to you, you know, I can report more.
So
significant-
like
We'll give you a copy.
with the county budget and with the district budget, we take your cash at the beginning of July that you have in your account
Okay,
and use that within the budget. When she does your budget, you send in what your expenses are going to be, and so she takes the cash. And then revenue coming in, expenditures going out, and then usually you anticipate the revenue, and then there is a reserve after the bottom line of your expenses that's added into, so that it carries over when, to help with the cash.
right, between that July 1st and when we actually start getting it.
He can call me.
Because we don't start getting property tax until December.
Right, that's all included.
Right, yeah. Is that a report that is just done?
Well, he went and did it, we'll see what it says.
It should be asked, or should we be asking for that from Sarah?
Probably on that,
July?
does it? And it should show that there's a reserve. And we use that reserve just to carry through. When between November.
Yeah, there's a gap.
There's that gap. That cash flow might not be there.
Well, I think that carried forward for us because we became independent, I think, in January of 2019, possibly. I can't
You
remember.
still turn in a budget though, I mean, it
Yeah,
just,
but
it
we
still
got-
goes on.
we ended up getting
Yeah.
money. And then I think we were still part of the town, and we had some kind of monies. I'd have to go back and look.
There's
Well,
already
it's
some
just this
cash.
term
Yeah.
in the whole doesn't really sound.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't sound good. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to know this in the future, so, because I'm the chairperson of the library and, you know, I mean, I love numbers and spreadsheets.
That's what we wanted to have.
I-
show what-
I would think reporting just how, where you are in your budget,
Yeah,
because it's all,
Compares.
yeah, I would just report on how you are doing on your budget. Yeah.
Thing for them. Is that what you're looking for?
so did
Just the
you, when you do their
determination one?
budget, you. No, the budget, yeah, that all.
That's the budget. Yeah.
So you don't
I don't
figure
do
out
the-
their cash or, you don't figure out their budget then? You're not, well, you should be.
We just have the amount of, I've got the bills. Because I do it.
They should do a proposed one then with
Yeah,
with
I
the
think it's
reserve.
on here, But I have it on the, have it in the. Thing.
On your budget report,
Yeah,
where you
because
say
they
cash,
have-
anticipate, you have that, that's what we want to look at.
The bigger issue is, are they're basing their budget on their cash or anticipate and
Yeah.
then report on how they're doing on the budget. Yeah, because
Within the-
you may not have the cash until November, but it's still,
Yeah.
it's still,
and then
We
it's
keep
still
it
there,
line
yeah.
items.
in your expenditure
Right,
bottom line, and then you're going, okay, we've got this reserve, yeah. To buffer to get us through.
Well, yeah, cause then it goes in the red, but you know exactly where you're sitting, where that's what I didn't.
But anticipated revenue, you're including that in your budget, so right, because that's what you're basing your budget off of, right? And so the reporting just has to be, I think, off the budget, how they're doing on their budget. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
on the expenses
Yeah.
compared, yeah, and that's what I like to do a percentage. And
And it should show.
like
but
wages and
it's
different
line
things.
items of what.
Yeah.
Even if you're expending what's
Well,
coming in.
you're anticipating your reserve with your expenditures, you're saying, okay, and that's why. When we say we're going to use 15 mils, and in that 15 mils that we're using is reserve.
Cause you get a meal.
Because your
Yeah.
expenditures maybe come to 14 mils, and then you're putting that extra mill in. For the reserve.
We don't get, we're getting 48.5 and that's it. We are not.
Right, that's all I figure. So, yeah, I mean, what you're saying, I do that for the hospital, just for our purposes and for all of these ones, but I've never done it for the library ones. For the Drummond
Well,
or the, I just kind of figure out because of how many,
Well, basically, I mean, you should just, if you should,
okay.
so you didn't, okay.
No, I do it for, I
And then
mean, I
that-
just do it for our purposes on these ones, but I've never done it for the two libraries.
How
Because
do
it
they
was a
know-
certain,
How do you know then if where they're sitting, if they come in and say, where's our budget? How do we know?
I just
how do
figured
know?
that they have all of that. And that we're just figuring out how many mills they need to
So
get
you
in
don't
order
even
to
put
get
it,
their
you do it
49,
for all the other districts except you don't.
the
do it for them.
libraries.
Well, you should be,
Okay. So I've never done it for the,
yeah.
for the
It's
library.
just
Separate
something
line
that
items,
that shows you,
yeah.
okay, we got this reserve. If it's all working, that's fine, but it should show it
Then I
on
can do it.
paper. Where you don't have to say we're in the hole 17,000.
Yeah, I thought it was just, because I can provide what Doreen Fendler
Right.
gives to, because people aren't numbers people, so they get kind of confused. And we should have, and when we first formed the library district, we should have asked for mills and not for a specific amount, because 48.5 is not going to be enough for us as we grow. So I anticipate in a couple of years going out for a levy that will be
Yeah.
based on a mill which will increase every year because of the, increased property taxes and not squeeze us like this.
But you need to have your line, so
Yeah.
you can tell what, or so you can tell what expenditures. and your-
Yeah,
So it's.
Oh, yeah.
maybe if Doreen
Totally
talked to,
covered.
maybe if Doreen talked to
Okay, on
Blanche.
a voted levy. Usually you ask for cash, you don't ask for the mills, simply because of the fact that you're going for how much cash you need. You're not going for, okay, now if it raises, we're gonna get more.
So we can't do that?
You can go
Normally-
back, you can go back and have there can be another mill levy,
Election.
but a mill levy, like. Well, I think what we talked to the group about that at the time. About potentially looking at, and they were thinking if they asked for too much, then it would, at the time, that it would get voted down, so they wanted to be. Pretty conservative on that, but you can always go back.
Because at
Well,
the
and
time,
here's the thing with your voted levy. You wanna tell them what cash you need, just like the hospital did.
okay,
And it's like, I want up to 48,000. You can't say, okay, I'm gonna have 10 mills because it might be worth 50,000
right.
in a couple of years, and that you're not gonna, the people aren't
Yeah.
gonna go for that. So I'm just saying that the best way to be would be ask for the cash and not.
That's why,
And Granite County normally will allow you to put that with the cash and not, I want so many mills.
And then,
Okay.
can I ask you, then, so, then it have the line on, and then somebody come in and say, well, how much we have, what are you using in travel, you have the breakdown, but we don't have that.
yeah, it should be for both library here and.
Yeah.
And
That way they can tell what they're
Yeah.
spending and if that anticipated 25,000 is show.
So-
should be like,
Yeah, we have
like
that.
salaries, a
Yeah,
certain
we
amount of
get that
salaries,
report every
yeah.
month.
Yes.
So it's like
Yeah.
40 categories.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
see that every month.
Monday.
And we question what's going on or
Yeah.
why is this more? And like the program,
Okay.
like from July 1st to now, our program manager, it spends an enormous amount of time on programs, as you can read through some of the programs and events down below. So she only, out of the budget, she only has $600 left. So
So,
that might seem frightening in some ways, but that's why Headwaters, Headwaters provides with 7,000, and we can draw almost 2,000 to 3,000 from that for her salary for the rest of the year. So it's not like we're having an issue.
well,
with
the
that.
only thing that I say is if we don't get all the information, if we don't get what you're actually bringing in and what you actually have, and if we're just using what the mill levy is and what the cash we have is, and we don't know what.
It's not an
your
accurate
cash
picture of the
levy is,
budget.
Then.
Well, the
then
budget,
we don't know.
the budget she gets actually has potential for Headwaters grant or other
Oh,
grants
okay.
or donations.
Okay,
That
And what
is
you
that
submit.
income part, and then your income part also accounts for the rentals, because down below, you have the loan that we owe $1,200 a month.
Okay. We were thinking that wasn't being done. I wasn't
Yeah,
understanding.
I can bring you or email to Billy. What because Doreen Fendler is the one who does the
Okay.
bookkeeping for the dolls.
They haven't been getting and then they'll have, so maybe it's just because the taxes haven't been.
It's a good conversation.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, I think it's good, so there's no reason, right?
Can't do what you're not told.
Well, I mean, is that what they're saying that they're?
This is, we have a big.
Got the older one. Fences, so, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and they've got 97, it's just that taxes haven't been paid yet, I mean,
So when
it'll look
they're
different.
saying
Oh, yeah,
69,
in December.
Yeah.
and we're saying.
Okay,
Our new ones,
97.
So they're throwing that 25 anticipated on
Okay,
before they
yeah.
even,
that's
right?
that's what she was asking. about.
What's the 25? Is that at 25,000 up at Bevan income?
So, okay. On your budget. I don't know if we need to be doing this today, you're saying
It's okay.
total income. Less expenses,
Oh, as a sum.
69,900.
So it sounds like, I mean, from that, are you saying that you pay almost 70,000 is what your expenses are for the year?
Okay, so they're going, Granite County taxes and all this other stuff come under 69,909. 901, and then they have the expenses 69,901. They're not including the cash in there that they're beginning with,
No,
so that you can reserve, which we need to know, and what
that
you do.
amount.
Yeah.
when you go in, you get the cash that's on hand and put it. And
In
pick
there, which
everything
is the
up.
49, which is what the cash on hand I looked at June. That would be the cash on hand at June, and then with the anticipation of the 48.5, which you know you're, because that's the taxes.
And so they're
So
anticipating
97.
69,901. And you're just doing the 48.5.
I'm just doing the 48.5
And
from
we had
that.
49,103, which total budget would be 97,603, not 69,901. Is all. So,
Okay, so you need to have just different figure facts.
so.
Maybe sitting down with Doreen to say how you, yeah, how it should show that reserve.
Which is just a question of getting the, and they do get the information to her. But what they aren't giving her is what, and she takes it from. Is Granite County the only place where you have your cash, or do you have your separate bank account?
Gosh, I wish we had one in Vegas, but we don't. No, that's it. Definitely.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, you got
I wish we had
Vegas.
They don't have personal checking account.
No, or cryptocurrency.
It all goes through the
It
credit.
absolutely does. Well,
So and that's
Yeah.
where everything should combine, because they're your bank. You need
yes,
to know the
Yes.
ending cash.
yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, and that's where donations, that's why you see on here, public donations, what we anticipate in the actual, you see miscellaneous revenue. And then the rental income is,
Right.
we anticipate.
But what you don't have on there is your ending cash balance.
Right. Okay,
So and that should be included in the budget.
and is
That makes sense?
Sarah's going to contact Doreen or not me?
So when we go, we'll be doing this again. Come July, so we'll be doing budgets.
Maybe tell Doreen to call Sarah.
Yeah, call Sarah and just,
Yeah, it's easy fix.
Yeah, I don't want to be the pig in the middle. Because believe me, you get in real trouble, in our subdivision.
Well,
Don't say anything.
you're the chair, you're the boss, you're not in the middle.
so in seeing what it says on there is that at the end of June, you had $49,000 in the bank, more or less. And then you were gonna get another 48,000
Right.
from us.
Fitting our budget into that,
Which,
right.
which you said, okay, you included 48,000, but you're saying you're gonna have 69,000, but
Oh,
you see what I mean? And we're saying, okay, you don't have 69, you had 97,
Right,
okay,
yeah, what's the real?
is that,
realistic figure?
you see where I'm coming
And-
from?
Oh, yeah, totally, I'm a numbers person, believe me.
And then I think when the
Yeah.
reporting is just how much of your budget authority have you
Really
spent, so that's
Yeah.
what you're keeping track of.
And so
Yeah.
in that, you're saying all I'm gonna spend is 69. And I'm saying you have 97, so we're gonna reserve that, and you can reserve up to 30%. Which fits and balances your budget, and that's what ties you over. From tax to tax collection.
And like I said, I'm pretty certain that we didn't start having that year we became independent. It's from multi-jurisdictional. We got some money in January and some of the tax money in that first 6
Okay.
months. And that's because we weren't flush with cash at all, because that's
So,
what the
yeah.
town.
That
they
was
were
your
like
startup.
watching.
So
Yeah.
you don't actually have to say, I'm 17,139 in the hole.
Oh, I think it
Is what I'm
sounds
coming
good
from.
though. It makes people be. Send your
But-
money.
Library.
You don't want to state investigators. running. Yeah.
We digressed a little.
Well, that's why he had said that due to the balance forward, the checking account balance is still 23,000.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, but you still want to make sure that before saying we're gonna spend 48.5, that's what we do. I guess my kind of thing would be, then we'll have to be like we have to go out every 2 to 3 years when we run out of money, when we say, because we, that's expensive and it's a lot to do. So we'd be like the hospital, you have to go out every 3 years and ask for more money, or would we want to say, okay, let's go for 70,000 and justify it with the public? But right now, people are squeamish about any money. So that, you're saying that we can't do just a voted levy, that we have.
Yeah,
to
you'd
do
have to be,
A voted levy.
you already have a
specific
voted levy,
amount.
and the levy is,
We
it doesn't, it goes on and on and on.
But you
For
could,
a million
yeah,
years.
you could do a new, you can do a new mill levy election.
But we have to do.
Yeah, you wanna
with a
increase
specific
it.
amount.
It would have to
Yes,
be, I believe, I'd have to research, I think it goes through the commission that would call for the election. It might be the district could as well, directly.
So we can't do like so many mills, that just isn't gonna.
which when you have to do an amount, say you need more than 48.5.
Mhm.
You'd have to go out and vote and say, how much more would you assume? Okay, you want 75?
Yeah, I mean, but we can't just say I want 10 mills and it keeps getting more every year and we never have to go out again. This is good information.
Well, because the people are gonna, not that it's gonna increase your, you want 75,000 instead of 48,000, you have to tell people 75,000, which comes to approximately so many mills. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't say, okay, I know this mill's gonna increase $100 every year, so I'm gonna get 75 one in year 2 and 75, maybe it'll increase to it. No, you wanna do that comes to 75,000. People want it that way.
See, and I look at it like, why wouldn't I want to do a levy that would be increasing all the time due to the increase in the number of properties and people that are going to put a burden on the library? And have, because it's hard enough to raise the money and do that type of thing. Then, that's what I would, but obviously we can't do that.
Well, it's not that you can't do that. It's because you're asking for an amount, not.
We don't want, what if we don't want to ask for amount? We
I
can.
know you want more money every year because the levy goes up. What if it goes down? I mean, what if the value goes down, which it can do? Then you're getting less. See what I mean? When you have to get 75,000, you want to get 75,000. So if the value of a mill goes down, you're not gonna get the 75,000.
Has that ever happened though recently?
Well, I know, but it can happen. That's the thing that you don't.
Not in my property taxes. it
One
hasn't.
thing you could do is because right now you have it's permanent, you could do, that you look at a request for X amount of dollars with like 2% added each year to it and something like that, but then the issue, the 2% might not keep up with inflation
and
either.
you're looking at people that are crunching, they're work.
Yeah,
Right. Well, do you look at people that don't go to the libraries where you can be looking at, if you're
Do you have any other comments?
that vote?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is
I
kind of,
want to provide more information so you have a summary of all the different programs and events and the miscellaneous. It has been very busy. One of the new things that I just want to bring up is that we had what was called the expansion fund, because that's what we thought we were going to be doing into that side of the town. We're not. Some of that money was used to build out the bathroom in the basement. And we're kind of running out of space with meetings and classes and everything. So Gina and Kristen did a lot of maintenance and cleaning up out in the cafe where they can accommodate more people. But, we're going to start calling it the growth plan. We already had a meeting about what do we need to service the community best? And then Gina is going to be applying for a grant for ALA. ADA. I thought that doesn't look right. For ADA, 10 to 20,000, and whether we can go to the back entries that can make ADA accessible or another bathroom, because she feels because we're a rural library that we could easily get that money. So that's something, we're always going to be trying to mine for more money, and who knows when the time comes and we're going to be building out or doing something significant, I will be meeting with you guys to make sure you know. And you're always welcome to ask any questions. Thanks for your patience. Good education.
Thanks for doing it.
I interrupted but I did read it.
No, I want interruption, believe me, my friend's meeting last Friday didn't go very smooth either. And I filled the paperwork.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to the Granite County Jail pad and cell change order. I don't know this morning, look, they already poured the cement in there, it looks good. They butted it up against the cell and that, and the floor is all wet. They're working over there, so he's, I never talked to him. Valerie said that he took the measurement, and he took everything home, and he'll build it in the shop, and he'll come here and complete it together. But on the change order, that was just that, replace that floor, and they sawed it and did everything, so it looks good. Entertain a motion, go ahead with the change order.
I'll make that motion to go ahead with the change order. For the jail. Kessler Custom Shop.
I second it.
Any public comment on this? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That looks good in there, they got a lot of time, weird how they did that wall, the little stickers like that. It's pretty neat, should go in there, and look. It's kind of cool.
What's one like that?
They're just the way the stickers are involved, they're like little thin things that like that, and they have a face, it must have been when we put paste on, they must have glued it or painted it, on. I don't know. It's pretty interesting looking at that.
The neat old jail.
Yeah.
Too late. Yeah.
You're done. We said yes.
We agreed on it.
You're late.
What's that?
We all agreed on the change order now, and I said,
Okay.
oh, look, I don't know what's more involved in there.
Just over there talking to Scott while I was late. Talk too much. No issues, questions, anything?
How's it going?
What's that?
How's it going?
Slower than I'd like, but that's just kind of how I run, seems to be, but it's going. Talking about updates to the door, there's a door on the cell we're gonna put so we can get an upgrade from what Missoula has. They've got a food tray. The door comes down and locks, you put the food in, lock it, lift the little head gate so they can reach in and get their food. Gonna make it removable. So you can lift it off the door and then they can't get shoved into it, can't bump it, whatever, and then put a pin.
That's in
So
the padded one.
Yeah, it'll be in the padded one, and then they'll stick their hands out through that opening. You can handcuff them and put a pin in the door, so they're attached to the door and they can't get away. You know, stop them fight there, you can open the door and get a hold of them, and then somebody else pull the pin, and then you got total control.
Is that custom made then, or? is it-
It's gonna be, the only thing that's not custom was the $6,000 toilet. So, that's the only thing that isn't custom about the whole job, so. That's why it's taking so long, that's why it's complicated. I gotta get an electrician in there to move some wiring. You get that done before we can start installing, and I want to have the whole cell built and ready to go before I start installing anything. I've got the second door at the shop to put in, so we'll have a double door going out, and there'll be 5 locks to get in, 3 deadbolts and 2 locking security knobs, so the knob doesn't even turn, you have to open it with the key. So it'll be as secure as possible. Bolted in with 6-inch lags, 6-inch concrete anchors and 1/4-inch steel all the way around, so. You might rip it out,
Be able to flop around there and knock it off the wall.
maybe with a pickup, but. They get one of them in there, we're all in trouble. So,
It'd be good to get it done.
Yeah.
Be another notch. And you got this coming up, we'll talk to Scott and maybe move a couple of them rigs out of the way out there so they can plow that all off before you start.
yeah, if we can get the holes dug, that's gonna be the problem, getting the holes dug and then cement the posts in with the frozen ground. That might be better to wait till spring on
I
that.
was just gonna say. Wouldn't this be better to wait till spring before the,
Yeah, if we put cement on frozen ground, it just breaks out, and you know, that breaks into gravel, so if we're okay waiting on that. I think that's gonna be money ahead. Okay,
Well, jail cells the priority for you,
We
right?
wanna get that done.
that's priority, that's all I got right now, so
That's all I'll have until it's done.
You don't have nothing else, you fix the front door. Upstairs, dome's done.
Got the little bit of trim metal on the top edge, and that's still waiting on that order. But that'll wait until, you know, decent weather and the cell's done. That's not a pressing issue. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right, Lee.
Bless, I hear the word. Three of them. He doesn't.
Quite the padded cell, isn't it? It's quite the padded cell. Wow. I guess you'll check with Brandon and see when he gets that done, you know. He said he's got everything to do it. Just got to push on him a little bit to make sure we get that done. That was when you fix that other stuff up there. You can understand, so that's- You haven't come back and everything.
So you both went?
Yep.
You were good boys and went, okay, and I signed your warrants for you.
There's the report if you guys want to review it. I'll have it on your
Sure is that.
agenda next week. With an LOT to send to FERC, and then, like I said, the follow-up call with Kelsey and Doug is on the 13th.
All right, well, we're giving her a couple minutes early, but we'll go ahead and start on the junk residential trailer and drum. See, play phone tag with you, Bob, back and forth, but.
Okay.
Started in this. Yeah, you can come right on up, Bob. We just kind of want to find out what's going on, what we can do to get it cleaned up.
Here's still here, so we'll leave. The hearing is not as great as it used to be when I was a young man.
You just state your name and it's just because it's on recording.
Okay, Bob Terrell. Anything else?
I guess we just need to know what to do with this trailer.
Tell me what can we do with it? It's not mine, it's Dave Williams. You know. So I don't know what I can do with that trailer. And I don't know what he's willing to do other than nothing.
He's not in a position to do anything.
I don't know what his financial things are. You know, he's in a home in Deer Lodge. I did talk to. I'm sorry, I can't remember Mr. Park's first name. Was it Charlie or
Charlie.
Charlie? And he had some equipment right there, and he and what's Weaver's first name?
Bob.
No, not Bob. The kid.
Oh, Lynn.
Lynn. Yeah, he was going to. They were going to tear it down. Charlie was going to let us use his equipment there, and Lynn was going to drive it and tear it down because I don't know how to drive and things. But that somehow went down the.
Chad.
It went. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
I guess we're just trying to figure out what's going on with it, and there's all the rumors now, I thought I'd better talk to you and. maybe
What rumors?
Just figure out what we need to do to try to get it took care of.
I appreciate that. But do you need to deal with me or do you need to deal with Dave Williams?
I don't know how this works.
Well, I think who the order should come from is the local health officer, should come from Dr. Khan to order it, and it could say letter would go to both, and then if it wasn't moved, then the health board may have to act. So, I think we start with the process with that.
Send a letter.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have many ideas, but yeah, no, I agree. You know, in this case, the county health officer has the ability and the authority to order abatement. Yeah, I think that's suitable here. I think, you know, it can be considered a hazard in the state that it's in right now. So if the county health officer orders the abatement of that, and then notifies the parties responsible for the structure and the property, then we can move on to see how are we doing. So, you know, we still, I think the last discussion we had with Board of Health was exploring potentially using that general vehicle funds, if need be, as kind of the last resort to be able to have a contractor take care of it. So
I guess that was my biggest concern, was opening the door and tearing down trailers. Sure. I had another call already.
sure. Yeah, you know, and each one of these things is its own unique animal too. That, you know, and it all have to be handled appropriately for each instance, but just, you know, that was the last thing that I threw out there, was the fact that there is money available somewhere to be able to handle these kind of things, and whether it's abatement and then put on taxes, or, you know, or some other method to be able to get the money back, or however that pans itself out, but there is some funds out there, grant funds from the state available to be able to handle these things.
I did reach out to, first off, the county, the nurse there in town in Drummond. And she gave me the number to the gentleman over at the health department. And that kind of just got lost. He never followed up. I don't know what his issue is. But I did reach out to him. I don't remember what his name is. And he never did get back to me.
Chad.
Well,
You know, Chad?
Could have been me.
it's been you then, yeah. I think it was you. I mean, I've reached out to your office 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And I think I even talked to you one time about
Yeah, I
this
think
issue.
we spoke
And,
on the phone, and
Yeah, you know, nothing ever developed from that.
well, I think that's we're all still in the midst of figuring it out.
I just didn't want to get into, all of a sudden now it's county's gonna be in and tearing down trailers.
Sure.
It's like I said, I had one more
Yeah.
call.
Yeah,
There's still that trailer down west.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
done
Down there, yeah.
I mean, east, sorry, well, the county clean mines.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, it's,
Big thing. There's one sitting at Hoover Creek, which is in Powell County, and the
Yeah.
DNRC just called one and knowing if we can clean up.
that's
We
weird.
have to check those,
Yeah.
so.
I haven't heard anything about that, but you know, again, it's, you know, Blaine and I have talked through this a little bit too, and if, you know, if there's an order of abatement and people don't have the ability to abate it, what do we do? I mean, it's not gonna do anybody any good to threaten to issue a fine to somebody who doesn't have money to pay a fine, to threaten any other kind of, you know,
Well-
problems, if they don't have the ability to handle it in the first place, so.
I think
So-
that's the whole deal.
Yeah, and you know,
Pretty much, I mean, you know, I'm treading water there, you know, it's not like I'm making, you know, and then I had to write, I mean, come on. I had to write a check for, you know, every year for $9,000 now for property taxes. You know, which are more than I ever paid for in years in California. And then I got, you know, I have bed tax. I mean, I'm being taxed to death there. And I mean, I get $65-70 a night. I got 9 rooms, figure it out, you know? And it's not like I'm rolling in dough. I keep my head above water and that's it. The taxes are killing me here. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And I mean, my God, I just paid $4,800 a couple of days ago. you know, and. The numbers aren't there. And like I said, I'm holding my own. I've been there for 10 years, holding my own. But it's not my trailer, it's on my property. I can't afford to pay $5 grand to get that thing moved, but I sure as hell will, whatever means it takes to get it out of there. I want it out of there.
I think that's the big thing, Bob, is this, because none of us really talk to you. And
Yeah.
I want to hear from you, and I don't know what to see, if they can help or not, or if they want to, or.
I'll be honest with you, man, there's times I thought about just throwing a match in there and letting it go. My God. I won't.
Yeah.
I would have already.
So you own the property underneath it? correct?
I do.
Okay.
I do not own the trailer.
Right.
And I even talked to the fire captain. I can't remember all these guys. Sean. And I said, why don't you just use come over here, use this as a training exercise. I mean, it makes a little sense to me. And he says, well, because the people will complain, It's like, my God, just go in there and use it as a training exercise. I was a fireman for a year in Cal Berkeley, and just go in there and teach these guys how to do things.
Is the property in an LLC or what, how do you own it?
I think it's an LLC, and I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. My wife handled all that. And that's another thing. I mean, it's Thanksgiving week. My wife died on Thanksgiving Day this year. And this is just too much for me right now. But I think it's an LLC.
Well, I guess we'll just kind of finally see what comes through, and then just have to get something. clear.
Yeah, we're all looking for the same answer. We all want trailer gone.
I understand.
You just gotta figure out how to do it. That's it. And we've got a couple of options out there on the table. It's just which is the most palatable option to be able to do it. And, where do we go from there?
So I'd suggest Board of Health meeting, like next Tuesdays, and see if Dr. Khan could be on Zoom.
That'd be a move ahead and then see what we can do. And that's just a special time, or how do they say it, that, I just don't want us to get into cleaning up trailers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's so many all over.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Go ahead.
You could set aside a portion of that junk vehicle fund that you have for trailer abatement.
Yeah, we know.
It doesn't go over that.
Yeah.
You could do it that way. So.
But I guess whoever does it, they're gonna bring a bid, and then we'll have to come up with the rest of it. But
Well, and just like what Chad's done is he's talked to a contractor about how much the abatement. would be. You put that back onto the people that want this done, is make them do their due diligence instead of you doing it.
Yeah, so I did speak with John Grossbold, who's I think doing work down there on the fire station right now. And he did drive by there, took a look at it, and he gave me a price. I sent to Blaine, and
Let's say 65. I want to say 6,500.
$6,500. And honestly, that's seems to me like a pretty fair price.
Cause you have to haul that.
Because he's literally talking about, it's just not there anymore by the time he's done. Yeah, so it'd have to go out of the county.
I'm sorry. I talked to John over at the dumpster in town. And he said that he told me he does have room to take that stuff once it's been destroyed.
I don't think we can if it's a condemned and it's full. I don't know what's all in there. I don't know if we want.
Yeah.
that.
Want to take it to Missoula.
It's one time deal. I don't want to take it out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the thing with
this, it needs to go
and
down.
the thing with John Grossbold is he has experience doing trailers like this in Deer Lodge County.
He's got an enclosed trailer.
And he knows what to do and how to do it. I mean, so that's the one thing is that he is, and he was the only one I reached out to just because we have experience dealing with him in Deer Lodge County with these kind of issues. And, and he'd just come and he'd take care of it and be done with it. And that's kind of,
I don't want to get it.
and it wouldn't be any more issue within Grant County.
Cause if we took it up to the dump, then they dump it there,
absolutely
and then
not.
we pick it back up and it costs us twice, so.
Yeah, this, no, it literally just take it
Haul it.
and it'd be gone and it'd be done, so, so there is something there, and like I said, it seems like in my communicating and working with him, that he's being pretty fair. So that's out there, so that's kind of on the table as far as an option to a person
No, just go
to
to
get-
Board of Health.
to get it taken care of, so.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do, right?
So clarification on the order, I think either the Board of Health could do the order or Dr. Collin. I think, yeah, have a meeting and decide on who signs the letter.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think, health officer has to sign an abatement letter. So.
I'll
but the
double
board-
check that, but yeah, I know for sure Dr. Collin can.
But the board definitely could come up with a recommendation and even draw a draft letter and have the. health officer sign it.
Let her know if she's like, I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Sure. Yeah, it's a,
That way we can get it done, you know.
it's a fairly straightforward thing and, and that's the county health officer has some really broad powers. So to handle, to abate some of these things that you can't really handle with anything else. So it's a good effective way to do it.
I did try to take care of this, I talked to Chad, I've talked to Blaine a couple times about it, and like I said, I had it set up with Park and Lynn and John even, he was gonna take it all in there.
I think they kind of got heard too, that they thought that they could just smash it down,
Yeah.
haul it up there, dump. And we're getting it up there and. look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, it seems like such a simple thing, we'll just throw it away, like, but
Yeah.
when you get into it, it's a very unique, particular kind of situation, handling something like that, so. Yeah, it's, maybe it's better that they didn't start into that, because they could open a can of worms doing that, so.
Well, there's,
I'm glad you came up and we figured some of this out, it's just been hearsay, and all this, and I got it.
well, I'm glad we're working on it, actually.
Are you gonna touch bases with John again then, after you talk to Kira?
I can, yeah, well, and you guys,
We don't
somebody,
want him to leave before,
somebody somewhere make a decision if. Board of Health, whoever county, somebody might wants John to do it, then let me know and I can communicate with them, so.
I
He hasn't
just
started.
go ahead with it and have him do it once we get it figured out, just a second.
Yeah, I don't know that he started on pouring
They
yet,
did it down
having
there,
dig
I
in.
mean, as
So,
long as
but yeah,
there
he's gonna
and
be
has
there.
Equipment, it will save us money too.
So
Go ahead, Brian.
procedure would be you would recommend it
I'd
to the board,
Sure.
and then the board would work with where our health officer would recommend it being.
Yeah, I think you should have a Board of Health meeting and have Dr.
We could
Collin.
do that, that could be on the agenda for the board of health. meeting.
Yes, correct.
And then just have junk vehicle. So. There's no line item or budget power to do that, which, no big deal, I mean, it's still.
The junk vehicle grant, see, and again, I don't handle that. I'm kind of on the outside looking in on this whole deal here, because I don't have authority for any of this stuff. But that junk vehicle, and again, I don't handle junk vehicles, Speed Kingery does. But in my experience with the junk vehicle program in the other counties, there is, the DEQ is allowed counties. It's in the rules somewhere, that they can use a portion of that money to handle things like trailer houses.
I called that lady in Helena, she never called me back, so I was curious on how that.
But,
Sure.
well, but Blanche said that they haven't budgeted yet, but it could be,
I'm thinking that we still have in monies that we put over into capital project.
Yeah.
From junk vehicle, because
Yep.
we couldn't spend it all,
Mhm.
so they let us put it in
Yeah.
capital projects, so it's
Yeah.
not that there wouldn't be money.
Yeah.
In junk vehicle to take care of it.
Right, and I think they just looked up the junk vehicle budget, and it was $22,000 or $23,000 this year. And I don't know what kind of portion you guys spend on hauling vehicles or doing what, but a lot of like even the other counties that I work for, a lot of that just doesn't get spent. And you can move it into that capital fund, because if you don't,
Yeah.
you lose it.
Yeah.
The state will take it back, so, so it may be an effective way for the county to be able to utilize that money instead of just losing it or stacking it up in
Right.
the sky in a capital.
Yeah.
fund.
And
So,
And like you said, this is setting precedence, or it isn't setting precedence, it doesn't matter, it has to be renewed.
well, I think
And
it's,
we
case
do
by-
have
yeah.
the funds to do it, and so in that situation, because it is a grant. And we do get it from the state, right,
Mhm.
that there would be no reason to ask the property owner. Okay, this is costing the county, which it's actually costing the grant. And for them to put it on their taxes to pay it back.
and that's a decision the county can
Well, we
make.
should have reasons why we're doing it in this case, so in other cases, I mean, if the guy can't pay, I mean, it's proven he can't pay, whatever. But if somebody's got the money, well, they could pay,
And that's on them.
it's on them. But so we have to make, a reason why we're doing it.
So this would be something where the property owner would say, would have to notify maybe the county attorney, or we'd ask the property owner, why can't you do this? And
We could put that in the letter, yeah, that.
does that make sense to you, where you pretty much said your tax debts it is and you can't afford it? And you can't do
Yeah,
it
I mean,
because you're just barely making,
That's not a problem, with all the
we want your savings.
issues that are going on with it.
I'm kidding.
But ultimately, what you're talking about though is doing it and then putting it back on his taxes, so. And that's what they're talking about.
So I'm gonna get billed anyway.
So,
And there
Yeah,
should
no,
be
that's a pretty-
differentiation between the property owner and the structure owner, maybe, I don't know. Because
What Chuck is saying, can you prove to us that, okay, you can't afford to
There's a
take this
hardship.
down, right? We need something in writing from him, would that be,
You just need to see my business bank statement. Not him, the guy on the trailer.
Dave,
oh, the guy. that
Yeah, but
owns the
his-
trailer?
There's nothing to go at, there'd be nothing to go after, the trailer's gone. So if
Right.
you're gonna have any type of reimbursement, it's gotta go back on the
Onto the
real property
estate.
taxes.
plus
But that'd be
he-
you guys'
his
decision.
taxes weren't paying the $200 and some dollars. for the
Yeah, I
trailer or
caught that.
something.
Yeah.
He's
Is he-
All I'm saying, is we have to prove that this is a
special.
special case, and this is why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And when the next person comes down the road and says, okay, you did it for him,
yeah,
no, we say, no, we're not doing it for you, because you got money. Or we're gonna take it out of your taxes. What?
Gail,
That was my, Gail Leeper for the record, that was my question, I just was wondering if Bob was gonna get that assessed on his taxes. The fee. For the county.
That would- That'd be the commission's decision on that.
Well, not in this case,
because
it's not his trailer. I mean,
But
it isn't my
But it could, I'm saying you can do it if you want, yeah, you can do it,
No, I would.
yeah.
so you're saying because it is not his trailer, but we need to find out from the person that owns it. Where is he?
We have to prove that he cannot.
Cause Dave Williams,
Yeah.
he's in a rest home in Deer Lodge, Ivy or whatever it's called.
I just think we just need to move ahead and just, this is a one-time deal cleaning it up, because this is a special deal, and once we get it.
Just have it documented.
Yeah.
and prove it.
Yeah, we need to say he's in a rest home, he cannot afford to do it, we have to do it as a special case. Would that be something we could do, Blaine?
Yeah, but and the
Because
Board of
he
Health,
doesn't own it.
the
Yeah.
Board of Health minutes, get it in there and as a
Yeah, it needs to be in the
factual
Board of Health
finding.
minutes, because they're making the call and then we
Yeah.
have to pick it up.
So, yeah, I need to, I think it's good, it would be a good idea to convene the Board of Health, next week or 2 weeks.
I'll try to get a hold of everyone, hopefully next week, if not the week after.
Sound good?
So this is something like you're saying, if he owned that trailer,
That'd be different.
then he could pay for it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't,
Yeah,
yeah,
coming out of his taxes or
yeah.
whatever.
or if you can prove you don't have resources, that's the other thing.
I don't know.
Like the engineer saying,
Yeah,
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 Let's
this
just,
is.
let's just, this is a special deal and put it through the health
I
board,
just
and then once we get them to sign on. Then that way the health board will recommend, and then we can just move on. You guys good with that?
so who was renting the trailer out?
Dave. Oh, no, it's Dave's trailer.
Dave was renting
He
from,
owns the ground.
the property from,
He rented the ground,
Oh, he rented the ground from you,
yeah.
okay.
yeah, $250 a month.
Alrighty, well, that'll be the thing.
My-
whenever they come in.
My advice is don't accept any more trailers on your property, that'd be my advice.
Thanks, Mike.
Well.
I don't think I
need-
ever will.
We just needed to get face to face and figure this out, and just. Hearsay.
Well, I'm glad that we've done this and I go to Zoom now and do my turkey shopping.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good day. Yeah, take care.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Unrelated.
Oh, yeah, thanks, yeah,
Let's go ahead and make the
Yeah.
copies of it.
yeah. I'm looking at
And
something.
that's the.
Um,
But,
A class 2 is 4 is taking hazardous waste.
yeah, 2 is just a general.
You guys want to talk to him a second about the landfill issue?
Yeah, and then I
But
gotta figure out something. that clear with no
The-
wonder. Now he's scared that we're doing this.
Yeah,
It's just, when's it gonna stop?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's such a mess down there,
Yeah.
the boiler stuff laying there.
yeah.
I mean, it's been 2 years, Chad. I
Yeah.
just,
Well, same thing, we'll figure out how to cite him or notify him and,
he's been told.
yeah.
That
well,
could be on the Board of Health agenda too, both.
are we talking about the same thing?
No,
about
different,
other-
different issue down there,
he
on the
heard
trailer.
He heard that we're cleaning up one in Drummond, now this guy wants his cleaned up.
Who?
Another guy that I've complained about for 2 years, there, all that's gathered all over down there. Now he's here and said, clean up. He wants.
Why?
What's a cookie?
Yeah.
He's not good for you.
But does he own the land too?
Yeah, so that one
Down and
there
put it on the taxes.
is pretty clear where
Yeah.
if there was an abatement from the county, you can either order it abated. Yeah, now that's one that may be appropriate if the ability is to say, look, this is order abated, or you could potentially be fined, you could
Or you charge them
potentially
with
face
public
jail time. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a case where the guy is more likely to have the resources to do it.
Yeah, he can pay for this.
Yeah.
Dave guy. he's-
Yeah, this is.
That-
this other one's a
Legal
different
option.
situation.
I would turn that one into the sheriff's office and I'd be one to prosecute it.
Yeah,
Jump right in.
Okay, so we'll start with the ballot numbers and then you wanna look at the,
The voted.
yeah. So, I mean, so, okay, got a couple different things here. So here are the numbers of the absentee ballots and then how many ballots we had. For each precinct. And my printout for how many ballots there were for each precinct. In our system, which would be all of the absentee ballots. And these were the scribbly notes from the people that were counting the ballot. And then here is it on one sheet. So there's in our system. So in precinct 1, there were 308 absentee ballots that we accepted in, and that's how many ballots we counted. And then in precinct 2, there were 350, and that's how many we counted. And in precinct 9, 220, and in precinct 10, 287. And that's, we had the no hospital, we had 2 different ballots for precinct 10, again, we had, so there are 287. And then, and then attached to these, we have the report from at the polling place.
What was that? Precinct 10? What was the 2 separate ballots?
Because part of them are they don't have a hospital district, they're out of the hospital
Oh,
district.
those are the ones
That's
that,
Rock Creek.
Yeah,
Gordon Rock.
right,
yeah, you.
yeah, and since we, and since there was, yeah, and since there was the levy on it.
We voted right on that. Huh?
I
Yeah,
see.
that amount.
What is the argument?
Anyway, it's done, so. And we did have, there was an issue with the hospital, the levy on it, so we had to separate those out, so that's. Or not on that one, one of them. Wherever it is. Yeah, so anyway, and then on these, here is from the polling, how many ballots they had. And when we add all of those together. So
This is just the count,
that's,
how many
yeah,
voted in each precinct, it's not the actual canvas.
right. So anyway, just showing,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that here the number of ballots, and this is before the provisional, we did have 7 provisional, but we had to add it to it. So,
The machine tells you one thing and the when they do the resolution, they count the ballots and then the machine counts, and it was correct. The count,
Yeah.
that's the big.
Right.
It was correct.
Right, so here. Here is the printout, so the first 3 pages here is the printout that comes out of the machine. That has the total numbers of the, for the entire thing, with the provisionals added into it.
For
So I've got
race.
for each race. So I've got that one. I have. Okay, this was what we did on election night for each race and then the totals here. And then later added in the provisional. So this has the total numbers.
Okay, Scott can have that one.
You want that one? Okay. And then
Yeah.
give you that one. So, and it's just the top 3, because that's the entire county. And then here, and it should all be. Boom, boom,
So
boom.
this is the abstract that goes to the
Right.
Secretary of State.
Yes. Yes, and have, oh yeah, so on the. And then we'll sign off on it when, yeah. So
Is the original one?
that is the original.
I don't touch them, I don't touch it.
Okay. So, anyway.
So precinct 1. For Monica. Tranel, is it Tranel?
Trinell.
It's on my
Okay.
precinct one.
Oh, so are you gonna do it by precinct
Well,
then?
we should.
Okay. Okay, so here, this should be precinct. It says it right there, it's precinct 1. Yeah, okay, there, and so you'll have 3 pages of precinct 1 and then it'll do 2 and so, okay. Yeah.
Precinct 1. Monica. 162. John Lamb, 22. Ryan Zinke, 261.
Correct.
Check.
What?
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So precinct 1, Supreme Court Justice 1. Bill D'Alton, 114. Jim Rice, 254.
Correct.
So Supreme Court Justice 2, Precinct 1, James Brown, 205, Ingrid Gustafson, 220.
Correct.
State Senator District 39, Jesse Mullen, 180, Terry Germier, 262.
Okay.
State Representative District 77, Precinct 1, Sarah Novak, 161. John Fitzpatrick, 281.
Yeah.
County Commissioner District 2, Precinct 1, Gail June Leeper, 210, Scott Adler, 227.
Yep.
Clerk and Recorder, Sarah Graham, Precinct 1, 393. Sheriff Coroner, Precinct 1, 419, Scott Duncan. County Attorney, Blaine Bradshaw, Precinct 1, 381.
Good.
County Treasurer, Vicky Harding, Precinct 1, 382.
Yeah.
Justice of the Peace, Jason Aaron, 137, Debbie Fratsky, 264. That's Precinct 1. Constitutional Amendment number 48. Precinct 1, yes, 252 or 352. Precinct 1, no, 66. Legislative referendum number 131, precinct 1, yes, 216, no, 212. Allow adult use recreational dispensaries, precinct 1, 4, 249, against 198. Impose 3% local option tax, precinct 1, 4, 369, against 77. impose 3% local option tax on medical. Precinct 1, 264 against 181. Granite County,
260.
4, 260
Yeah.
against 181.
Oh, okay, I thought you said 260 something.
I thought you said 260. Oh, he said 264.
4,
Yeah.
oh,
Or against,
That's-
yes,
260 against 181.
See, we're listening.
Okay. Granite County Hospital District no levy for 280 or 280 against 166. Okay. Precinct 2 or 10.
Yeah.
I'm just going down the.
Okay, so. Yeah. So, like what we were talking about, they had the two different things, we had to add them together, so here's. All of these numbers are added there, so this is the number you're gonna be looking at.
Monica, 98. John Lamb, 18. Ryan Zinke, 335.
Yeah.
Bill and or Supreme Court Justice. Bill 95, Jim 274. Supreme Court Justice 2. James 277, Ingrid 141.
Yeah.
State Senator District 39. Jess 107. Terry 335.
Yep.
State Representative District 77. Sarah 102. John 342. County Commissioner. Gail 210. Scott 233. Clerk and Recorder 387.
Yep.
Sarah, sorry. Sheriff Coroner 402. County Attorney 372. County Treasurer 365. Justice of the Peace Jason 109. Debbie 287. Constitutional Amendment number 48. Yes 362. No 68. Legislative referendum number 131. Yes 282. No 153. Adult use dispensaries. 4 185 against 256. Opposed 3% on non-medical. 4 349 against 90. Imposed 3% medical. 4 251 against 186. Mill levy Granite County Hospital District. 4 114 against 232. Okay. Precinct 2. United States Representative Monica 195. John 41. Ryan 293. Supreme Court Justice number 1. Precinct 2, Bill 108, Jim 322. Supreme Court Justice 2, James 233, Ingrid 254. State Senator District 39, Jesse 193, Terry 324. State Representative District 77, Precinct 2, Sarah 199, John 325. County Commissioner District 2, Precinct 2, Gail 226, Scott 288. Clerk and Recorder Sarah, Precinct 2, 472. Sheriff Corner, Scott. Precinct 2, 489. County Attorney Blaine, Precinct 2, 456. County Treasurer, Precinct 2, Vicky, 446. Justice of the Peace, Jason, 146. Debbie, 324. Constitutional Amendment number 148, yes, 422, no, 85. Legislative referendum number 31, yes, 274, no, 239. Adult use recreational dispensaries, 268, against 258. Impose 3%, non-medical, 411, against 100. Impose 3%, local option tax, medical, 315, against 202. Granite County Hospital levy, 311, against 212. And precinct 9. Monica, 78, John, 19, Ryan, 260. That's US Rep. Supreme Court Justice 1, Bill, 58, Jim, 241. Supreme Court Justice 2, James, 223, Ingrid, 117. State Senator District 39, Jesse, 80, and Terry, 271. State Representative District 77, Sarah, 75, John, 278. County Commissioner District 2, Gail, 148, Scott, 206. Clerk and recorder, Sarah, 323. Sheriff Corner, Scott, 346. County Attorney Blaine, 317. County Treasurer, 294. Justice of the Peace, Jason, 83, Debbie, 263.
What's provisionally?
Provisional, those are people who maybe they had lived in a different county and they didn't register before they came here, and so they register on that day. We don't know whether they have voted in their other county or not. We have to wait and see.
Okay.
And as soon as that's done, then we can count it.
Keep reading that.
Yeah, that's what that's about.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Where was I? No.
Yeah. Start all over again.
No. Hello. Constitutional amendments number 48, precinct 9, yes, 258, no, 67. Legislative referendum number 131, yes, 203, no, 139. Allow adult use dispensaries, 158, against 194. Impose 3%, non-medical, 298, against 55. Impose 3% medical, 212, against 135. Granite County Hospital mill levy, 154, against 198.
Hospital on the board.
It always is. Drummond invariably, or precinct 10, excuse me, always votes anything dealing with hospital down. So the last page,
Yeah, that page. Yeah.
that is the voter votes cast.
Yeah, and that's, yeah. I guess stamp, it's this one. I guess you can, that one too, but
This one
but it's
This one
these,
goes with your,
yeah, That one, yeah, but we need to, yeah, it'll get scanned into the,
Oh,
into the minutes also. And then.
Very good, right?
Yes. See, I got those already and everything. So I talked with Barb afterwards, and so, I mean, the only thing that they're not taking into account is the cash.
Yeah.
And so. You know, they've got like 29,000, I looked at what it is right now, so anyway, I just said, well, when they're doing their budget, whoever does their
Yeah.
thing, that just to contact us, find out. And, oh, I can write those things, but when they're incorporate that into their budget.
well, like when you added their cash on hand and you added the 48.5
Mhm.
for the county portion. And they were saying 69, you needed to add that.
Right, so that's what I was telling, I said, you know, if they did it that way, you know, and they're looking at all their other income, their rental, their blah, blah, you know, all that. And so, you know. Then
Well,
the
then their
difference, and they
expenses
can
were
figure out,
Yeah, their expenses
Yeah.
were 69, their revenue was 69, so anything
right,
would have been the reserve.
right, so,
match the
right, so
97.
once they add that, I mean, they do have like a 30,000,
Well,
yeah.
just so they understand, there's definitely a reserve there.
Right.
because
That's what I was trying.
Yeah, they're just not
They
seeing
just
it because they don't
show
ask.
it, but they're not showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really hit it
Yeah.
off and said, in the whole $17.
Right, and they aren't, I mean, from their book, they're kind of looking at it like that, but from our perspective, because. They have $29,000 in their cash, they're fine.
Who does
If you
the taxes?
subtract,
Or who does your-
I don't know, she was saying
Doreen-
Doreen or
Doreen
something.
Spindler.
Well,
She
they
does it
want-
for both sides.
Yeah.
So
So
it's levy, they want more money.
Oh, well, it's because she's not looking at that. So anyway, what I told Barbara said, you know, in June, she could, when she's preparing the budget, just give us a call and then they can incorporate that amount in and they know, so then they can have their reserve.
Yeah.
And then they'll know where they're
So they
at.
understand.
They know where they're at this time. I mean, if they're not putting that in there, then they are gonna think they're in the hole. But
Well, but then she wanted just so many meals and stay at so many meals. Okay, so historically,
Oh.
it hasn't decreased the meals, it's gone up, but it could.
right, because they just get, I
Oh.
mean, they're just like the fire hall or like some other place that they just get a flat amount and we're always figuring out what their mills are.
Well,
They
they're
get-
asking.
but
for
they wanna
pennies
get it.
Instead of a flat amount,
Yeah, that's. I
and that's
got
where,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
no, you don't wanna do that.
You don't wanna do
Because
that.
why? I think you would, because if it increases,
yeah,
I told her.
yeah, but then the next time it might decrease.
I'm slow.
yeah.
Yeah, are you guys adjourning? Decrease.
I'll do the,
You wanna say you're adjourning?
how do they go down? What happens? Like,
You have Elena on there.
you know,
Say it.
The what?
It's
What
just,
happens to make the mill go down?
what happens?
Yeah.
You just say you're
The
gonna.
value would be. It's probably not gonna
Can you
happen.
make it known
but
that you're
value
adjourning,
of
so
a
people
mill.
know?
Thank you.
Will you tell them you're adjourning, so I don't just turn it off?
Instead of increasing, word, say for example, there isn't any new building and there isn't this and that.